is gone. No Google, no Amazon.com, no email, no podcasts. In a world ruled by the dead, we are finally forced to start living.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Walking Dead TV podcast, giving you everything you need to know to survive the oncoming zombie apocalypse that's about to be portrayed on AMC by Frank Darabont, Gillian Hurd, and friends, starting Halloween night, how apropos, October 31st. I'm joined tonight with the Shambling Mounds known as Brad Milo, Jordan from Jersey, Johnny M., and Russ. How you doing, guys?
Good.
We're so close.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, just a few days away, and we'll be able to actually see the Walking Dead television show. I know we're all big fans of the comic, and also know it's a non-spoiler show, but I mean, we have a lot of things on our plate coming up. Before we get to business and talking about the actual Walking Dead TV show and whatnot, I know that Jordan has a very special announcement about a contest that we're running in conjunction with yet another friend of ours, Media Junkyard. Jordan?
Yeah, I've been friends with the Media Junkyard podcast, which you can find at MediaJunkyard.com for quite some time. And they have a lot of press clearance, and so they got a pack of stuff from AMC that was Walking Dead specific. And so I talked with them, and we're going to partner up and have a contest to give away all this cool stuff. So what we're giving away are books 1 through 5 of The Walking Dead. That is the hardcovers, folks. The Zombie Survival Guide cards. They have a thing of individual cards, and Walking Dead word magnets. If you've ever seen like those magnetic poetry kits, that's what this is, but zombie theme. So books 1 through 5 of The Walking Dead, Zombie Survival Guide cards, and Walking Dead word magnets can be yours. But here's the twist. All right, we're not going to tell you how you can win on the show. You're going to have to listen to the next episode of Media Junkyard, which will be up online Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2010. You will have till 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Halloween to enter, but you're going to have to go to MediaJunkyard.com and listen to their episode that goes up Wednesday, the 27th, to find out how. So you have 4 days. It's not going to take you long to enter at all. It's going to take you like 2 minutes, less if you're quick. And then you're going to have to listen to our first show once the actual show premieres to find out who won. But we're giving this away in conjunction with them. It's an awesome prize pack. It's really easy to enter. You're just going to have to listen to both shows to do so. So check out MediaJunkyard.com Wednesday, the 27th for that episode and enter away.
Those 5 hardcovers are an outstanding prize. I mean, those are nice, oversized hardcovers that, they present really well. They look great on your bookshelf. And you're talking about the first 10 trades, 60 issues.
Yeah, if you haven't read the book yet and you're just interested in the show, you could get pretty much caught up immediately with this prize pack. It's so awesome. I want to win it, but I'm not eligible. So, oh well.
Brad is going to enter as an alias.
Yes.
Strad Splilo.
I'll use my DJ name that I wanted to be when I was a kid. My first and middle name's reversed. I'll enter as Keith Bradley.
That's not bad. That works.
The hardcovers are sweet, and more than makes up for the lame zombie magnet word game because there's only 2 words in it, brains and that's it. It's like 100 brain magnets and 100.
I think there's more than that, but it's probably stuff like shotgun and fire and I don't know other stuff. I haven't actually seen it, but
those word magnet games are pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, check out MediaJunkyard.com to find out how to enter, and then you'll have about 3 days to enter. It's only going to take you 2 minutes, so it's a pretty awesome prize you can win, and we hope you enter.
So what we have planned for tonight is we're going to kind of go around the room. We have a lot of stuff to cover. We're very happy to announce, I guess, that thanks to all of our great listeners, the show is doing really well, and we were on the new and notable area of iTunes, and we gained a lot of people, and it's all due to the 5-star reviews and the retweeting and the Facebook stuff that everybody's doing, and it's been a great ride so far. So what we'd like to do is thank everybody by playing some of those voicemails. We're also going to read some of the tweets that we've gotten at WDTV Podcast. And we're going to also read some 5-star iTunes reviews. And I think in between, what we'll do is have a little theme for the show where we talk about things that we don't want to see to kind of put a little twist on what we did 2 shows ago. When did we do things that we want to see?
Yeah, 2 or 3 shows ago. Yeah, just things, TV tropes, horror movie, cliches, and maybe there's something from the book. I mean, we won't get spoiled. Maybe there's something that you just didn't like and you don't want to see in the show.
So we're going to start with Brad, who is going to play some voicemails, and we'll have some comments on that, and then we'll get into our discussion before we continue.
Yes, sir. Here's a voicemail from a guy named Corey from Dallas. I wonder if I know this guy because I'm close to Dallas. Here it is.
Hey, Bill, this is Corey from Dallas, Texas. I was calling to thank you for the Walking Dead podcast. It's really, really amped me up for the series when it starts on Halloween. I also want to give big props to Johnny M for doing such a great job in pulling the audio from the convention panel at New York Comic Con. Anyway, you guys keep up the good work, and I'll keep listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Corey is a good, we do know him, Brad, actually. He follows our Facebooks and...
Corey Lee Jackson, right?
Yes, correct.
I got a lot of Facebook stuff from him. He has a lot of good suggestions for LOD, too. So.
He supports all the stuff we hear from him on the Speak of the Devil stuff, and...
He probably hates my show. He likes everybody else's. He hates my show.
Well, we like your show, Brad.
Well, we love your show.
And I hear your mom does, too.
You guys don't count.
Of
course you count. Of course you count. You wanna do another voicemail?
Yeah, let's get through the voicemails, and then we'll change the subject for a little while, and then we'll do some other stuff.
All right, this one's from our friend Joe Jans, otherwise known as Soda, on forumforgeeks.com.
Hey, guys, this is Joe Jans, otherwise known as Soda on Boards. I have a voicemail for the Walking Dead podcast. Love the first 2 shows. Fantastic. Huge fan of the book, and I just had a topic of conversation for you in between now and the start of the show. And that's just, how to kill a zombie. And I guess more to the point is just how human are these zombies. I've always heard you have to remove the head or kill the brain. But what I'm a little curious about is if they still have human attributes, are there other ways outside of that spectrum that you can kill these zombies? For example, could you take a zombie and hold it underwater and drown it? Does it need to survive with oxygen in its lungs? Same thing like burying them alive. Could you just throw them in a big pit and cover them up with a bunch of dirt? But you always see them clawing out of those things. So just a little something to throw around. Also, as far as the, as you guys stated in the previous episode, how does the virus spread? I too am a big fan of it's got to be by a bite, not just anybody that dies is automatically going to reanimate. But one thing I had a question about is how come we never see animal zombies? Could a zombie bite a horse, for example, as they do in The Walking Dead? Could that horse come back as a horse zombie? Also, shuffling around the world trying to eat either other horse brains or human brains. Not sure if they have a specific taste one way or the other. Because eventually I'd like to see little kitty zombies running around here. So anyway, that's my question. Please, feel free to expound on that as much as you possibly can. Keep up the great work, and I'll be strapped in front of numerous televisions on October 31st, waiting for Walking Dead on AMC. So thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later.
The only kitty is a zombie kitty.
Joe's also another big supporter from way back.
I think it's general knowledge, though, that you really have to go for the headshot. I mean, for killing zombies. I mean, granted, you could drown them or bury them, as he said, but I think
you could bury them, but I've seen there's lots of movies where the zombies walk underwater with no problem. So
that's true. Including Creepshow, now that I think about it.
And Land of the Dead, they do that.
Right. So I think it's general zombie lore that you pretty much have to go for the headshot, separate the head from the body.
And zombie animals, it also depends on the franchise. I've seen some with them, but it's rare.
Resident Evil.
Yeah. Resident Evil. And what's
Pet Cemetery.
I Am Legend? I guess that's really vampire though.
Technically vampires, but it's I think the technical term is crap. But I
Am Legend was vampires?
Yeah, the original book was.
Oh, the book. Okay.
The movie kind of screwed with all kinds of the important things in the book, but that's another show.
It's still not as good as the original version with Charlton Heston, the Omega Man.
That's not actually even the original version, but I hate that version too.
Oh, right, there was a version with Vincent Price before. I forgot.
Yeah, there's like at least 4.
Right. I think Matheson actually wrote the screenplay for the one with Vincent Price.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway.
Well, thanks, Joe.
I also agree with the headshot. If you want to kill a zombie proper, you gotta scramble the brain.
There's a whole series of cool scenes in Day of the Dead, I think it is, where there's a scientist who pretty much is just doing experiments to figure out whether it's the brain or what parts of the brain you have to destroy. So there's a whole cool sequence of scenes, very intricately dissecting, pun not intended, how that works.
I believe there was a scene in the Walking Dead comic, and I can talk about this in the vaguest of detail, so it won't spoil anything. But I believe we saw a character, at least one character, get beheaded, and then the head itself became zombified and woke up, if you will, with zombie eyes. And I think we've seen that. So I think Jim's right. It has to be pretty much got to take care of the brain itself.
One more.
Yes, we hear from Corey, from Joe, Mike Pampanella, an old acquaintance of ours from a while back.
The Pamp himself.
Hey, this is Mike Campanella, and this is a Walking Dead specific voicemail. I'm calling because I really wanted to express how I'm really looking forward to this TV show. It has to be awesome. And that's really all I can say. I mean, well, no, I can say more, but it has to be awesome. It really does. And I'm just so hoping that AMC is able to advertise and promote this show correctly. I'm afraid that people are just going to shy away from it, thinking that it's just pure horror. And I know the show is going to be awesome, but I worry about how it's going to look to the average viewer. And if you can't hook the average viewer, you might be looking at some pretty low numbers. And it can be viewed as a very niche-specific type of show. And I think some shows in the past have fallen into those trappings. So, but I really think the show is going to be awesome, fantastic, and I need it to be awesome, fantastic, because I want to watch an awesome, fantastic show about zombies on TV, on AMC, where they can push the limits a little bit more. It's not Showtime or HBO, but I have AMC and I don't have HBO or Showtime, so I guess hooray for that. But it's boo, because you're not going to get all the awesome sex, gore, and violence that program deserves. So, but it's all good, because I'm optimistic, and which is uncommon for me, because people tell me I'm fairly pessimistic. So this is a good thing. Walking Dead has me optimistic, if you can believe that. All right, great talking with you guys. I look forward to once the show starts, being able to hear what you guys have to say. All right, and you take it easy. Bye.
I think he's making a point. I mean, if you look at a show like True Blood, which could have been written off as just another vampire show, or Rubicon, which just could be written off as another conspiracy show, I think you really can see where an audience, can be found for that kind of show, beyond it just being, people just dismissing it for being, another zombie movie or whatever. So I think another. I think you could definitely find an audience.
I think another good example of that is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was had a huge audience, but it was pretty much a niche genre show.
Excellent example.
I think the timing's right too, because we see the Saw movies are bringing in viewers by the millions, and even the last Resident Evil movie did fairly good. I mean, it didn't do gangbusters, but did pretty good, and we get like you're saying, True Blood and everything else. So I think there's an audience out there that likes the horror gore thing going on, and I think based on some of the stills we've seen in the preview shots we've seen, it doesn't look like AMC is skimping on the gore.
Yeah, I was just going to say, based on the image that is currently my secondary monitor's wallpaper, they are not skipping on the gore. I asked this out to the guys earlier, but there's an awesome shot involving an axe that I cannot wait to see in motion.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing to me is it kind of reminds me of when the Watchmen movie was coming out. I mean, right now we're doing all this talking about Walking Dead for the television show, and I'd have to imagine that the people that are doing the podcasting, the chatting, and the message board stuff right now are all the comic fans. I mean, the average TV viewer, I don't know if they've gotten any sense of, the size of this for us. And in 10 days, that show is going to air, and you're going to have like another whole swarm of people that are interested in it. It's just very interesting to me how that's going to be,
Well, Mike was the last caller, right?
Yes, Mike Pampanella from the Devil's Advocates Movie Review Podcast. Check it out for sure.
And he brought up advertising, and I can't really speak to the advertising across all channels because I don't watch a whole lot of TV as it airs. I'm more of a Hulu guy. But as Russ can probably back me up on this, AMC is promoting the heck out of this on their own channel. And I mean, if you watch any AMC program, they've got not only commercials for The Walking Dead and really good ones, but they're having things like on Rubicon and Mad Men Finale, they have the stars, like commercials with the stars of those shows talking about The Walking Dead and what they've seen and what they're looking forward to. And if there's one thing you can say about AMC, there's a lot of things you can say about AMC. They have awesome original programming, but if there's one thing you can definitely say, it's that people who watch AMC shows trust AMC to put out awesome shows. And so if they are promoting it to that audience is going to follow it over, I think.
Yeah, just having recently finished watching the finale for Mad Men, they pretty much every commercial break you got a little snippet of Walking Dead. So I don't watch a whole lot of AMC, but what I've seen, that's definitely been the case where they've been pivoting pretty hard.
And it's cool. It's like every commercial is different. It's not just the same commercial over and over again, or a different commercial, two different commercials that they alternate. I've seen like 15 different Walking Dead commercials over the last few episodes of Mad Men, so that's awesome.
Yeah, Rubicon as well. They did exactly what you're saying. They had the stars of Rubicon talk about like zombie movies or the genre and how excited they are for Walking Dead.
I was saying someone over on, I think it was 4 Geeks today, 4geeks.com, everyone should check it out. But I really appreciate how AMC is treating their shows like a family and kind of having all the other shows promote the new shows and the stars come out to talk about it. It's just a really cool kind of environment there in television.
Yeah, it's almost like a little cult following, like you were saying, Jordan. I think you were kind of alluding to that. Like the AMC watchers are like really into everything on AMC.
Because it's all awesome.
Right, which is cool. It's very cool.
They build up that circle of trust to a point where people are willing to give anything they put out a try. And so far, there's really been no disappointments.
Well, and two, the other thing AMC's got going on is this lead up to Halloween. I think what they got this, I forget what they call it.
It's Fear Fest or Fright Week or something like that?
Yeah. So like every day between now and Halloween, they're showing like a block of horror movies. And, I haven't seen any of that, but I'm sure they're promoting it heavily too. So I think it's kind of the perfect storm and good timing for them to premiere the show on Halloween, just because it makes sense.
All right, so we covered our voicemails, which is great. We thank everybody for calling in. If anybody else would like to call in the future, by next episode, we'll have the shows to talk about, and we'd love to hear from you. 516-468-7912. So before we move on to tweets or our iTunes reviews or anything like that, would somebody like to jump in with something that they do not want to see from the show?
Can I go first?
Please. I insist.
I don't want to see famous faces, famous actors. For me, it's quote unquote bad enough that the girl from Prison Break is on the show. I mean, I like her, I can get over that, but when I read the comic, those people are people I've never seen before. They're their own people, their own characters. And when I watch Walking Dead, I'm gonna think, oh, there's Sarah from Prison Break. Maybe I'll get over that right away, and I hope I do. But I don't have to do that with a lot of other characters. Like, was it Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds movie that Tim Robbins was in the middle of?
Yeah.
When he showed up, I was like, the heck, that's Tim Robbins. Why is he here? And I totally forgot I was watching a movie. So
you
I don't want
stunt casting.
No, I don't at all. And I don't think that Sarah from Prison Break is stunt casting. I really don't. But I don't want stunt casting.
But what about real quick? What about cameos of famous people as zombies though? Kind of like what they do in Law and Order, where the famous people are the dead bodies. Could you live with that?
Or like Bill Murray in Zombieland?
Right, exactly.
No, I don't want that. And we had talked before about who could we imagine playing this character and that character, and I think all of us agreed that Danny Trejo would be an amazing person to play the governor character that shows up later in the book. And as much as I'd like to see him in that character, I want it to be somebody I've never seen.
Brad, are there any characters that you've seen casted other than Sarah Wayne Callies as Laurie? Are there any other actors you've seen so far that you go, ooh, I'm too familiar with them?
No, not at all. I've never seen Andrew Lincoln. Is that who's playing Rick?
That's correct.
I don't believe I've ever laid eyes on him before. Jeffrey DeMunn, he looks vaguely familiar to me, but maybe it's the beard that's throwing me off. I can't remember the last movie that I've seen him in. I know I've seen him before. He just looks like one of those familiar faces, so I'm okay with that. And the girl that plays Andrea looks vaguely familiar to me, but I can't place her, so I'm okay with that. I look at Laurie and I go, there's Sarah from Prison Break. None of the other ones are like that to me, and I really, really like that.
The only one that even approaches that for me is, I believe the character's name is Marshall, but he's the father who takes Rick in. Well, sorry, let me back up some spoil that. He's a character, I believe his name is Marshall, who shows up early in the series. He's been in a lot of the commercials. That actor has been on, he was in AMC's version of The Prisoner. He's been in a ton of stuff. And I don't know that he's going to, see, I don't disagree with you, Brad, at all, because I've definitely seen that happen before, but this is one case where I go, oh, I like that actor in a lot of stuff. So I'm interested to follow him. And he's not like a main character by any means in anything I've seen him in. But I believe the character's name is Marshall. We'll know once we see the show for sure. But yeah, that I can see where you're going with it. I agree, though, that it's not really happening in the show so far, at least for me.
I would like to see Robert Kirkman as a zombie.
You're telling me if Bill Murray showed up as a zombie, you would be upset?
I would stop watching the program, yes.
I know Charles Adler posed as a zombie in one of the first couple of episodes.
That's cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing Robert Kirkman because it's his thing. But I swear to you right now, if Bill Murray shows up as a zombie, I will stop doing the show because I will have stopped watching the TV show.
What if he's wearing a golf outfit?
What if he's wearing a Ghostbusters outfit?
No, the only way I'd let it slide is if he was dressed as Carl from Caddyshack.
I'd play through.
And he was chasing zombie gophers. varmint zombies.
Okay, so why don't we jump to iTunes reviews? Maybe we'll hit a couple and then we'll go back to things that we don't want to see, and then go back to more reviews. Because we have quite a few reviews, don't we?
Yeah, we got 4 new reviews since our last show. This one came in on October the 14th by BNX Bomber. 5 stars, hands down the best Walking Dead podcast. That's pretty, complimentary in itself. But he continues on.
Game.
There's a lot of them now.
I know.
All the most listening part of the Walking Dead podcast network. Blah, blah, blah.
He says, if you're a fan of the comic and hyped about the TV show, this is the podcast for you. These guys keep the comic talk separate from the TV talk, so you don't get spoiled. But they know a ton about both. Can't wait for Halloween so I can follow along all season with the show. And we've heard that a lot from people that like the fact that we say, hey, spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's definitely not the first time that we've heard that. So that's good. I'm glad. It was a tough decision, kind of. We still have a hard road ahead of us to watch the show and not think about where it went in the book. I think you talked a lot about that, Brad, last time.
Yeah.
But so far so good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially when you recorded that panel, John, when Frank Darabont was talking about taking little detours and everything. It'll be brand new territory for us, even though we are very familiar with the books.
Yeah, Jim, I like the way he said that. He said, Kirkman's laid a path down. We will step off the path, but we'll always come back to the path. So, he made mention of a couple of characters that he wanted to see, which, are in the book. So this is going to be fun. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Seriously, just thinking about it. Okay, we got, let's do one more iTunes review. October the 15th. Get This Pod. I'm sure he means podcast. 5 stars. Nick Walker, thank you. These guys obviously know and love what they are talking about. If you love the comics or are a fan of the show, get this now. You won't be disappointed.
I wonder if Mr. Walker is one of the walkers, the zombies.
Or perhaps a Texas Ranger.
That's true. Maybe both. Maybe he's a zombie Texas Ranger.
They played like zombies tonight, I'll tell you what.
What if Charles Bronson showed up as a zombie, Brad?
I'd let that slide too.
What if Chuck Norris showed up as Walker, zombie Texas Ranger?
That's actually what I meant. I got my tough guys mixed up there.
I was gonna say, I think if Charles Bronson showed up, he'd actually be a zombie.
Yeah, all I could figure was you meant Tom Hardy's version of Tom Hardy as Charles Bronson as a zombie.
Oh, boy.
That would be funny too, though.
Jim, what is it that you do not want to see in this program?
I do not want to see Laurie. I hate Laurie.
seriously don't like that character?
I really don't like that character very much at all. I'm sorry.
I hate to put a pin in your balloon there, Jim, but you may not get your wish.
Yeah, I know. It's okay though.
What is it about?
She just
Without-
even in the comic, I found her very annoying, very needy, very dependent on Rick and everything that he did. Not to spoil anything, but she was just very annoying. And it's funny because Megan and Nicole and I had this conversation. They were The Walking Dead as well, and they were very annoyed by Lori too. So we have this like Lori annoyance club going on. But I realize she's part of the story, and I realize she's important and everything.
She's the Betty Draper of The Walking Dead.
If you say so.
Most certainly. No. Believe me,
Those are Mad Men
she
fans.
is. Betty Draper is one of the most hated characters in television. But if Jim has his way, Lori may soon be in the running for that same character.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I love the story. Obviously, I've read it all the way up to I think the last trade and everything else. But I've just always been annoyed with Lori. What can I tell you?
Why don't you give us one more review, Mr. Mello?
Okay, one more. The Chub Toad says on October 17th, he says, great podcast for a great show/comic, 5 stars. This is an exceptional podcast that I recommend as essential if you are a fan of Walking Dead.
Sweet. The Chub Toad is a member of the Forum for Geeks as well.
And a friend of all of our fine podcasts, Half Hour Wasted, Legion of Dude, Walking Dead TV. He's a good guy.
And maybe Brad, we may catch him hanging around the Star Trek fan days this weekend.
That's true. I'm glad to hear that you're coming out, Russell. It's gonna be fun. If I find $75 on the ground, I'm so getting William Shatner's line. But other than that, I may just have to yell across the room, Benny Crane. And,
Chub Toad, or Rich, as those of us who use real names know him, is the only person who ever co-hosted my YouTube video comic reviews.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact.
I didn't know that.
Really annoying to record and edit. I'll say that right now. It was worth it, but it was a really long process.
Well, I will jump in if I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I have very specific things that I don't want to see, but I cannot say any of them. So I will say that my fear is that with only 6 episodes in the first season, my fear is that they're going to rush a storyline that's important in the book. I'm not referring to anything specifically because I don't know what the first season storylines will be, but I guess I'm just afraid that they're going to have to wrap something up in a nice little neat bow, not knowing if there's a second season and they really want their first season to kind of hit. But we're only talking about, 5 hours of TV? When you take out commercials and
Except that the pilot's going to be like 67 minutes long.
Okay, all right, so maybe 5.5 hours total, television. So I am afraid that they're going to rush something that the readers of the book feel is an important or was an important storyline. And that's it. I guess that's what I'm afraid of most. There are points that I would like to talk about right now, but I won't. I'll mention them as they happen, I guess. But
well, in a very general way, I know what you mean because the very important part of the quality of The Walking Dead is the pace of the story. It's not just. I mean, obviously it's the characters and the way they interact, but also the way the story is paced when you read it in big chunks, like in a trade or in the compendium or whatever. So I totally get what you're saying. It'd be very easy for them to rush through a lot of things that really took their own time to develop in a really good way in the comic.
Right. If they'd like to end episode 6 on a certain reveal or cliffhanger or moment, they're going to look for that great moment to end it on for viewership. But that could be a moment that was dragged out a heck of a lot longer. It might have taken 30 issues to get there in the comic, and now they're doing it in 5.5 hours of TV. So it worries me a little bit. So that's my thing that I don't want to see.
Or it could be the opposite, because Frank Darabont taking these little, Brad was saying, off the path trails. Maybe it'd only be like the first 6 issues or whatever. So
I hope they don't dumb it down. One of the things I hate when they translate certain media, comics or books into either TV or movies, I think TV's more guilty of it than anything else. They tend to dumb it down, where people they just don't act very smart, and it's just so over the top that people act stupidly that it really just kind of makes you roll your eyes or takes you out of it. So I'm hoping they stay real true to the characters in the way that Kirkman wrote it, and that they don't fall into the typical TV story writing traps that we see a lot.
I totally agree with that because without the brutality, the story loses a lot of its drama.
And along those lines, Russ, that just made me think, people do stupid things in the book, but they get called out for it. You know what I mean? Like if you fire that gun and cause, draw the attention of 1,000 zombies, you're going to get called an idiot. It's something that you don't really see, like you said, in these, kind of conventional horror films that people just do dumb stuff. Everybody rolls their eyes and they get killed or whatever. There's real consequences in the book for messing up.
That and just things like we see in horror movies, and I know Scream kind of made fun of it, but where people are like, oh, I'm going to go walk down the dark, path with no one with me and no weapons. And,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly. And then boom, they get eaten or whatever. And it's just like, really, come on, the audience is much more sophisticated that, you don't need to fall for those same conventions.
Yes. Teenagers, zombie crisis is not a good time to have sex or make out or do any of those 7D horror things that will get you killed.
Can I go on a quick tangent?
Please.
Going along with what Russ said just now about the rules and stuff. Have you guys seen the teaser trailer for Scream 4?
No, not yet.
That was on the Scream Awards last night. I saw part of the Scream Awards before I went to bed last night. And yeah, that trailer looked pretty good, actually. It was kind of weird to see Neve Campbell after all this time.
Yeah.
And Courtney Cox and Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich was in the...
Yeah, he was a cop, right?
First one.
No, that was...
that was
David Arquette. I'm sorry, I get those two confused.
You know how, in the first... Was he the first or second movie? It might have been first, whatever. Jamie Kennedy, went over the rules. He was like the video store clerk. He went over the rules of you can't have sex, you can't say I'll be right back, you can't do this, kind of the things that Russ just said. Well, quickly, in this teaser trailer for the next one, there was a scene kind of like that, but the guy says the rules have changed now. Things are different. The virgins can get killed now. Just because you don't have sex doesn't mean you're not going to get killed. The killer will videotape the whole thing. So it's interesting that there were rules, but now the rules are different, and I just thought that was an interesting parallel.
You're excited for Scream 4 and Saw 6, I would imagine?
Saw 6 came out last year. Saw 3D is out.
Whatever.
I have not seen a single solitary Saw movie.
You haven't seen Saw?
I have no desire.
Neither have I. Neither will I. I have no desire to see it at all.
I love those movies purely because of the layering of story from one movie to the next. I am glad that the next one's the last one, though, so that'll be good.
Not if it makes a lot of money.
Yeah, well, bite your tongue.
Yeah, I don't think the detractors of Saw realize quite how intricate the plotting is. I mean, I can't say for sure that it's planned that way, like we talked about Lost, but it fits together pretty tightly.
Yeah, sorry about the detour.
Okay, Brad, do we have one more? 2 more?
We have one more iTunes review. Came in on the 18th by Brad ZB. It's not me. He says, great cast with a great Don, D-O-N. I'm sure that's a typo, and I really can't figure out what he means, what he meant. Anybody have any ideas? Great cast with a great Don, D-O-N.
Maybe he thinks, that since Johnny's from Long Island, he's a good fella or something. He's like Don Johnny or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll take it.
He's the Godfather.
He says, okay, as odd as it sounds, as a zombie writer and author, I have never read the Walking Dead series. Why? I don't know. It was graphic art. I loved it, but just didn't get into it as I used to. Might have been since I couldn't draw, so I wrote instead. Been writing zombies for years and missed this graphic art segment of it. I had heard about The Walking Dead and wanted to know more, spoiler free, of course. During one of your last segments, you told everyone to stop at a certain point if they hadn't read it, and I did. I love that fact. There again, somebody likes the fact that we say spoiler alert. I totally understand you guys have read the series. Giving a newbie as it is to the series is awesome. I know there is a ton of back history to the show, and I have just finished the first trade. Guys, keep up the great show and give those who haven't followed the trade the option to stop listening. If you don't, I will hunt you down as a zombie and smite you with a 1-star review. That's funny.
Brad ZB is also the host of the Watchers of Anarchy podcast, which is all about the television show, The Sons of Anarchy, which I've mentioned, I think, on our other podcast stuff. It's like one of my favorite shows for the last couple of years. I love it. I just watched a new episode today, and it's awesome. So if you're a fan of that show, check out the Watchers of Anarchy podcast. And he's a good friend of ours. He's a Twitter follower, and he's contributing as well. So thanks a lot to Brad. And I hope he comes back. I hope the people who shut it off when we start spoiling come back. And if he just read the first trade, that's what I think we spoiled 2 shows ago. So maybe you can go back and listen to that first trade.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think about covering the rest of the trades? I mean, from here on out, we kind of have our weekly task laid out for us for the next 6 weeks, and then I guess maybe we'll pick it up with the books in the downtime between seasons. What do you think?
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We'll just make sure that everyone knows it will be spoilery because it's going to be those books.
With as many different formats that it's come out in, we could probably do a show in and of itself just talking about the different formats that they've published the material in.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think a compare and contrast between the show and the comic would be nice once the season is over.
Yeah, I can't wait for the first moment where we all go, oh, that's straight out of the book, and we can kind of take an issue that lines up with a show that everybody has already seen and just kind of do that side by side, like you were saying, Brad. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And let's pose this question to the listeners. Hey, when we're between seasons, what do you want to hear? Go to Forum for Geeks, send us a voicemail. Let us know. What do you want to hear on the show between seasons 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead?
All right, so does anybody, I think Jordan is up for something that you don't want to see.
Sure. I've got something that I don't want to see in the show, and I think I can already put myself at ease that it's not going to happen just because I've heard it pretty much straight from the horse's mouth. But I don't really like in horror movies the cheap scares. They walk around the corner and there's nothing actually there. Or, they make fun of it in Shaun of the Dead, but where he's looking at the mirror and he presses the corner of it to close it and the reflection changes and there's nothing behind him. Those kind of cheap music-related scares are kind of annoying. But if you've listened to our interview with Bear McCreary just 2 episodes ago, episode 3, you'll know he pretty much said he doesn't like that either, and he's not going to go into that. Speaking of Bear McCreary, I figured we should point out he mentioned that the 3-disc Human Target soundtrack was coming out. It just was released. They put it on LaLaLandRecords.com, 2,000 copies of the 3-disc edition. So if you want a copy of that, as I do, I've already ordered my copy. You want to go to LaLaLand Records really quick to support Bear McCreary and buy that album. Otherwise, you can buy just the regular version, I think, iTunes and stuff. But for those of us who really like his music, we're going to be picking up the 3-disc edition. Thank you very much.
That's very cool. 2,000, huh? That's limited.
That is a limited edition. I was very lucky to get a copy. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about those cheap auditory scares?
It's one of those things that like the retro movies are back. Everybody's doing 80s action and everybody's trying to do a grindhouse 70s type thing. As everything old becomes new again. That's something that I don't think will ever. I think it's past cheesy. I hope that never comes back. Is what I'm trying to say.
Even if it comes back, I just hope it doesn't come back in the show. You know what I mean? It seems to be.
I'm sorry. It seems to be something for the spoof. For like Scary Movie or something to that effect, rather than trying to recreate a style. Of the past.
Yeah, I mean, Walking Dead's more about the tension than the cheap scares, really.
What is it about the cheap scare that you don't like? Do you not like wetting your pants that often?
No, it's just when it's used, it tends to be overused, and it's really cheap. It's like we didn't actually want there to be a scare here. We couldn't actually write one in, but we put this in here to keep you interested. Why we're not actually writing a scare? You know what I mean?
Lazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's if we just do this 2-note musical cue and pan the camera around the corner, we don't have to write a scene. And I don't think for a second it's gonna happen in the show. Not just because of the music, because of the direction and the writers, but it's just one of those pet peeves I have.
All right, so I think that leaves us to our tweets, to the tweets that we've received, I should say. We call this, I hope do we have like an echo or like a creepy sound we could put in over my voice, or do we not have that kind of technology?
We'll do it in post.
Okay, do that again. Ready? Oh, wait, on 3. 1, 2, 3. The tweeting dead. That might even work. Thank you. Okay, so we have a couple of tweets here. If you ever want to send a Walking Dead tweet to us, thank you. It is at WDTV Podcast. At WDTV Podcast, that's the show's Twitter account. I've met a lot of the cool people that you've heard in the reviews and stuff and the people that we've spoken about through the Twitter, so that's very cool. First from Ducky is Lost, and that's like almost on cue because it's a lost ducky. Hit the sound. Okay, you're going to have to do a little better than that. So this is Ducky is Lost. Started listening to the Walking Dead TV podcast to prep for The Walking Dead. Like that they keep the comics talk separate so us newbies don't get spoiled. We have another from Ducky is Lost. Show looks awesome from previews, and everyone who's read comics just gushes over the story quality, so I'm in. What previews do you think everybody is speaking of? The little short clips they're doing on AMC?
That or the trailer, or, I mean, there's tons of online
stuff,
presence.
right?
Yeah, there's a lot of online presence. Yeah, there's the 17-minute behind-the-scenes video, the free stuff up on iTunes. Oh, speaking of iTunes, by the way, they put up the prices for the seasons. You can get the standard definition season 1 for $9.99 and the high definition season 1 for $15.99 US. And it's going to come with the 17-minute behind-the-scenes documentary and knowing AMC, probably behind-the-scenes stuff for like every episode, because that's what they've been doing lately.
They're running prices up for this Walking Dead show?
Yeah, it's really affordable. Well, because they put up the trailer and the 17-minute documentary, so they created a page for it, and it has the prices for the season right there.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm going to buy the DVD, but I'll probably download it anyway just because it's so affordable.
Say I've got AMC, so I'm covered.
I mean, I do too, but just for the replay value, especially doing a podcast, it'd be nice to be able to go, oh, what did he say there? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's a little more portable. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to be carrying the old CRT around. It's a bit of a backbreaker.
That's tough.
All right, one last tweet. I'm going to say it's from Valkyrie Kick. Really looking forward to the show. The trailer inspired me to get into the whole concept of zombies. So that's interesting. I mean, we've been into zombies, for a really long time. If you're a comic geek, and we talk about all the different forms of zombie media and the Marvel zombies and all the video games and stuff that we're into. But it'll be really interesting to see if the whole concept is accepted by the regular TV watching audience.
Well, I know there's going to be like an MTV show. Alex from Lost is going to be in it. That sounds interesting. It's a totally different take. It's not serious at all. It sounds very comedic. But yeah, zombies could be right at the saturation point pretty soon.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up in a minute. But first, I'd like to send this over to Russ.
Well, what we've done is put together, like John said, a garage sale. So it's a bunch of assorted items. It's a lot of comics, a lot of trades. There's some DVDs, there's some Blu-rays, toys, just stuff that all of us have had. We're all trying to, I guess, simplify our clutter, so to speak. So we're kind of going through our piles of stuff. eBay is such a hassle, and we really, it's not even worth really putting it up on eBay because the margins are pretty thin. So what we decided to do was offer it up to our listeners of all of our shows, being Half Hour Wasted, Legion of Dudes, Speak of the Devil, and the Walking Dead TV podcast, and stuff out there. It's all going to be just like bargain bottom, really cheap stuff. Shipping, again, mostly like media mail or cheapest route. We're not looking to make any money off of shipping and handling like a lot of folks do on eBay. So just to try to get enough cash together to help pay for like hosting, and we want to kind of amp up our game a little bit on the audio side. So we're looking to get some nicer audio equipment, some mics, some mixers, some stuff like that. And then we're getting a lot more involved in the con community. As John was at New York Comic Con and was able to snag that panel audio. So just stuff like that. It just adds up and costs a little bit of money, and we have hosting and all that other good stuff. So
I thought you said this garage sale was for a pizza party.
Shh.
Interns.
That's supposed to be your inside voice, not your outside voice.
Dang it! Did I say that out loud just now?
If you know collectors like we are, this is not like bent and beat up stuff. I mean, I know Russ is meticulous about all the issues that he keeps, and he's selling a ton.
Yeah, I put about 30 figures up. All on the card. They're all mint on card. They're all in really good condition, and it's $5 a piece, or you buy 3, you get 1 free. So.
You can go to www.hhwlod.com/garage sale. So that's the parent website. If you go to the main Walking Dead TV website, there's a link that says home. It'll take you to the main Half Hour Wasted Legion of Dudes portion of the website. There'll be even a link on the main page, and even we'll put it up on the Walking Dead page. So if you get URL, just go to the WalkingDeadTV.com, and there'll be a link to the garage sale, take you right to it. But otherwise, it's hhwlod.com/garage sale. And we're going to continue to put a bunch of stuff out there. So keep an eye on the message board at forumforgeeks.com, and as we add stuff to it, we will definitely update it. And as things get sold, we'll definitely mark through them so people don't get frustrated with stuff. And you'll be able to. There's an email address on the site, so when you find a bunch of stuff, send us, make us an offer, and we're all wheeling and dealing. When you've got 21 long boxes of comics, at some point in your life, you just got to say some of this stuff really just needs to go. So
enough is enough.
And it's all for a good cause. It's all for a good cause.
And I bet if somebody wanted a couple of different items, we might even consider cutting a deal on you know what I mean. Like say somebody wants all 5 of Jordan's Lost DVDs, and then he sees a couple of action figures that he wants and a couple of trades. We could probably come up with we will come up with a price that would be obviously cheaper. The sum is cheaper than the parts, right? Is that how you said it?
I just want to mention real quick the contest again. You're going to want to go on the 27th of this month, Wednesday the 27th. Go check out MediaJunkyard.com. Download the episode that gets posted that day, and you're going to want to enter the joint contest to win the first 5 hardcovers of The Walking Dead, Zombie Survival Guide cards, and the Zombie Poetry Magnet set. Awesome prizes. It's going to take you 3 minutes to enter, and you're going to want to do it. You're going to have to check out MediaJunkyard.com to find out how to enter. And then you're going to want to check out our next episode to find out whether you won or not. But it's an awesome prize set. So check out MediaJunkyard.com this Wednesday, the 27th of October, 2010.
Can we enter?
No.
Dang it!
We can enter, you just can't win, I guess.
Oh, okay, great.
Bring it home.
Well, thanks for another wonderful podcast here at the Walking Dead TV podcast. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our voicemail number is 516-468-7912. Our email, comments @walkingdeadtv.com. Check out our brother podcast, Half Hour Wasted on Mondays, Legion of Dudes on Thursdays, and Speak of the Devil. We have our Daredevil and Shadowland coverage going on right now. We just put up a big interview with Jason Henderson. That was really cool. Also, check out Jordan's YouTube comic videos. Every week he does reviews of what comics he's bought that week, and you can check those out through our website. For Twitter, you can follow us, and as you heard tonight, we like to read our tweets on the show, along with our iTunes reviews, so we can always give us more of those. We'd love to hear the feedback, what you like and don't like about the show. Twitter is @WDTV Podcast, so follow us, and we'll follow you. And guys, it's the last show before the big premiere. I am so psyched. I know you guys are too. So
it's been like over a year since we heard about it, and it's the time has come.
Yes.
Awesome. So Jordan, do you have a little catchphrase for us?
Well, I just want to say goodnight to everybody, and hey, until there's no more room in hell and zombies walk the earth, remember,